If you've been on what's been known as the interweb over the last couple of years, chances are you're one of the 120 million people or so who watch this.
This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, pirate so brave on the seven seas.
What? Jack Sparrow, Lonely Island, featuring the epic turn by Michael Bolton where he broke bad. There was a time when Michael might have found that not so easy to laugh at himself, like back in the days when he was playing dive bars, struggling to make ends meet for his wife and daughters. Well, Michael kicked around the music business for 18 years, even fronted a hard rock band called Black Jack. Before landing his first hit, a cover of the Otis Redding Scorcher. That was followed by a string of hits almost as long as those famous Tresses. In all, Michael has sold more than 53 million records, befriended the late, great Coretta Scott King, and established a foundation to assist women and children at risk. And now he's got a new book. It's called The Soul of It All, and Michael's agreed to sit in the red chair and let me get to some revelations about him that you might not know.
What a treat, everybody. Please say hello to Michael Bolton.
Great to see you. Pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the show.
Busy man.
As are you.
Try.
You're in Toronto, then you go away for 36 hours and come back. You're just kind of popping around all the time.
I like to visit the festival and then disappear, so the 9 people who knew I was there wonder where I went. And then, no, it's great. I love Toronto. I've been coming here for almost 30 years.
What's the exercise like, having to put it all together, relive your life, and then know you're sharing it?
The book. It's a long process, you know, and it's a deep process that, you know, that brings you face to face with the toughest moments of your life and some things that are not fun to revisit and experience, but the only way through the book is through those experiences. And it's powerful to do that. And I don't want to overuse the word cathartic, you know. But you also realize how far you've come because, you know, a lot of the theme of the book is an 18-year climb. Yeah. Is my first record deal, I was 16. I didn't have a hit till I was 34.
There's an interesting thread throughout your book, and I don't know if it's intentional, but it's certainly a part of your life. There's this really nice thread about what was called race records and Motown and black music and white music and you being on stage at the Apollo, and there's these things, right, that people forget that you would have seen. I mean, you're a young guy, but you would have been coming of age. The civil rights movement was heavy. Yeah. Were you aware of what was going on?
Oh, yeah. We were raised in a Russian Jewish background where when the Jews moved into New Haven, Connecticut, they were kept within an 8-block radius. And if they left that area, people would swear at them, people would throw things at them. And so we were raised never to treat anybody else ever like that in our lives. So you couldn't be remotely prejudiced or racist in anything you said in my home. It was unaccepted.
It would really warm the hearts of all your family, those who are alive and not, that you've been able to experience some of that stuff, because so many in your family fought for justice, experienced segregation on their own, and to be able to be a part, and then to know that one of their own is kind of really experiencing this openness.
Well, I like to believe so. My father died rather young. Yeah. He was a big believer that my career was going to happen. And he used to just stare at me and go, he had a jaw that came out to about here. Big, big, big. You're going to be big, big, big. And I go, I hope so, because my rent checks are bouncing right now.
Did he think you were going to be a big solo artist or in a band? Solo. Yeah? Because you were in a band with your brother, weren't you?
I was, early on, yeah.
Picture of that? Can we take a look at that? Let's see. Look at that. That's you on the far left sitting down, right?
That's me on the far left. It's my brother on the far right. He's the good-looking one. My brother got all the girls. He was like, I was just walking around just following him, trying to learn something, you know. But he also played for me. The first time I heard Stevie Wonder, it was Fingertips, Part 2, the introduction of Stevie Wonder. And I might have been 12, 11 or 12. And my brother turned me on to a singer. He said, you're just not going to believe this kid's voice.
It seemed to be way more gender neutral in Motown. The big stars were men and women. Like you saw, like there was an equality in there. at least in what was being recorded, it sounded. And I didn't see it as much as rock music progressed, and it's certainly not as hip-hop progressed. Why do you think that is?
I can't say. I'm so careful not to judge, you know, the present state of what contemporary music is.
You have spoken out, though, about the lyrics in hip-hop, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah.
Anytime I hear a lyric that I think is demeaning towards women or diminishing, if it's embraced by women without them knowing it, it sends off alarms for me.
Yeah.
Maybe because I have 3 daughters.
Who you raised as a single dad when they were teenagers.
Yeah, they moved in when they were teenagers, which means they took over my house and my life, basically. I meet people halfway around the world who have partied at my house, and they call me dude, and they will say, dude, you had the best parties at your house. When? Like, my daughters were teenagers, you know, going through that stuff. So we tried it, you know, and as an experiment, and it worked. They stayed for 20 years. But I remember listening, the first time I overheard some rap lyrics through the headphones, and I turned into my father. And I looked at my daughter, and I said, excuse me, what was that? And I was hearing language that, it wasn't offensive because there was swearing going on, because I'm a musician, and I have to watch it. When I come off the road, I have to switch off of road talk. Road mouth. But the lyrics that are created today that seem to be a part of this peer consciousness where the cred, the street cred of remaining true to what you would say hanging around with your friends is problematic only when it is demeaning and negative towards the gender.
Stick around. More with Michael Bolton after this.
Up next, Michael channels his cat, Captain Sparrow. 100 million YouTube views later. What am I doing here?
Now back to the good part. He was born.
All right, we'll be right back. More Michael Bolton.
Now back to the good part. He was born. He yearned for adventure. Oh, Captain Jack, giving them what for. He's the pauper of the surf, the jester of Tortuga, Davy Jones' locker. What lies in store?
Back here with Michael Bolton. Look, man, that's obviously a hugely successful clip with you at Lonely Island, but it's very easy to get the treatment pitched to you and think they're making fun of you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but to a certain extent, you have to be able to make fun of yourself in order to do something with the Lonely Island guys.
Yeah.
Their brand is shock and, you know, humor at your every expense, your every moment. And the first meeting, I met with the Lonely Island guys in Los Angeles at a hotel conference room, and I was sitting across from the 3 of them, and I said, my daughters are so excited that I'm here. And Andy Samberg said, my mother is going nuts that I'm here. So that's how it started. So I said, okay, so they said, just find a recording studio and we'll be there on Skype.
Yeah.
So via Skype, they're in the room, all of them checking in. I'm there with the engineer, and I start singing the hook, and they're getting excited, and they said, now, can you do some harmonies? I go, yeah, let's go. And I'm stacking harmonies. I have a show the next night. I didn't want them to panic, but I really wasn't supposed to be in the studio for 5 hours with a show the next night. But this thing was building, and literally, it did become this big, sexy hook.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember the hook. How did it go?
this is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay, but it's higher than that, much higher. And then they kept having harmonies stacking and stacking, or like 12 voices on top of 12 voices. And I started thinking, this is like a smash.
But you got to experience long hair again for a moment.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's probably because my bra was distracting me, that I didn't notice the long hair.
You're one of those guys, though, man, when you cut your hair, like, if there were Twitter, it would have moved on the wire, man.
Oh, yeah, it would have trended, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have trended. Bolton's,
Yeah.
And somebody would have started a Twitter account, Michael Bolton's discarded hair.
which probably happened. I auctioned it off. The funny thing is, I was in London at a radio station promoting a new album, and we had something called a telex wire. I don't know that a lot of you even remember what a telex or know
When
what
I
a
started
telex
in radio,
wire
that's
is.
how we would get
And
our stuff.
That's how you got your news. So you'd see coup in Sudan, you know, something else in some other part of the world. Michael Bolton cut here. It was world news, which is
So wild.
the most ridiculous, crazy thing.
So wild.
Pop culture.
What a pleasure, man. Thanks for your time.
You too, man. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Bolton, everybody. The book, The Soul of It All, My Music, My Life. Michael Bolton. We'll be right back.